I know what you're thinking. Why is this dude talking to me and why is he wearing a tie? I'll never tell. What I will tell you is I will tell you how to play Bonnie and Clyde, Love and Death. That's right, we're going to break down how to play the game. If you don't already have a copy of it, still stick through. Learn how to play the game because I'm doing a giveaway partway through as I have a couple extra copies and I will be doing that giveaway just for you. So stay tuned for that as we go through. But make sure that it's a game that you like. How we're going to do this, first I'm going to show you how to set it up. Then we're going to learn how to play. Then we're going to look at the iconography, and then we will look at the advanced modes. Also, I'm going to try and do this unedited, so just bear with it. Congratulations, you get the mistakes and everything. I hope we survive. All right, let's start with the setup. Go overhead. Okay, I don't remember the correct names of everything. However, what we're going to do is put our Ford A. That's what you start with. You start with Ford A. If you have the collector's edition or something, you can also use the Ford B. They're the same cost. Ford B is a little better. But for the purpose of this, if this is all you have, take the Ford A, put it there. Then Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker to each side. You're going to start with your morning, afternoon road trip tile right here in the middle with enough room for a card to fit here. And then the night phase so the road connects. Pretty easy. Go ahead and put your village, town, and city cards. Shuffle them up. Shuffle them up real good. Put them over there. Then you've got your police cards. You can see the difficulties. We'll go through the different difficulties levels. Basically, the lower the number in yellow there, the easier it is. We'll talk about the red numbers, and they should be two-sided. So the local police start on top, and they get more advanced as you go down. Don't worry about the rest. Put your car store up here. These are cars that you can steal as the game continues. Then you've got your city roads. Shuffle it up real nice. Put your city roads up here somewhere. Leave room for discard piles. Then you've got your country roads. Shuffle them up real good, blah, blah, blah. Put them face down here. This is face down. This is face up. More icons on the face up. Super easy. Then we've got our weapons merchant. Actually, I'm going to slide it over here. Take your weapons merchant. Take your weapons cards. Shuffle them up. This is face down. Face up shows the actual weapon. So face down. Put it here. Flip over 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm not aware, the rules weren't super clear. I'm not aware of any mode where you don't flip over 3. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. Then we're going to go and put our loot, love, and casualty graph right here. And then we're going to put our resources board right underneath. Over here, I've got my cheat sheet. It shows us the turns. And then we have our memory cards with the camera. Shuffle them up. Put them right over here. And then we have our fight, weapons, encounter, robbery type of deck. There we go. Right there. Okay, now we're going to work with our tokens. For the local police, just have 2 purple little cubies here. Here's how I do it. You may have different colored cubes. The color of the cubes doesn't matter. I keep 3 yellow ones to use to represent loot that I've collected. Put it to the side. I use my 4 red ones to represent items that are exhausted. And then I use purple for everything else. All right, let's go over. There's no cubes, no cubes. Let's go over here. Our loot in easy mode. Let's look at it here. In easy mode, I think we start with, where's my rule book? There we are. In easy mode, we start with, it's on the back of your instruction booklet, 7 ammo. I'll take that. So we've got ammo, starts at 7. Then we've got food at 7, all the way at the top. And then we've got $4. Pretty cool. And we have 0 tracks. The tracks are the footprints. And then we have 0 casualties. Our love starts at 4. And our loot starts at 0. Pretty cool. So we've got all those. If you want the other difficulties, just look at starting conditions on the very last page of your rule book. All right. You start your car, I believe, at 1. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3. I believe you start the vehicle at 3. There is a rules errata that clarified some things that were not in here. I cannot access it as my phone is my camera. So please let me know if that's incorrect. But yes, start at 3. And then the cops are this blue. They start off the board. They are not on the board yet. Don't worry, we'll go into them. This is just setup. Clyde Barrow, he starts with full health. So put him at the Band-Aid. And then Bonnie Parker, she starts with full health. Put the purple cube on the Band-Aid. You start your Ford A with a full tank of gas. Start at the 4. And a healthy body for your car, which is 2. Right there. Congratulations. I don't believe I missed anything. We're ready to start. For your first turn of the game, you're going to draw a country road for free. That means you don't have to spend any gas. I'll tell you about that. For your first turn only, you flip over one country road and place it in the morning. We start our game. Now, since we're driving up the road, I'm going to read the icons in order. Yellow means it's mandatory if I pass it. White means it's optional. You'll also see this time at the top. So reading this as we go up, we take this benefit, we gain 1 track. Awesome. We can use tracks to buy things later. And then we have to flip over a memory card. Take a memory card, you're going to flip it over, and you're going to apply the effect. It's almost always something negative. We'll go back into memory cards. But let's say that we resolved that. Then we have a chance to take our first stop. Your first stop on every card, every road, is free. That means it doesn't cost you any time. Let's say we had a card with 2 stops. That means white optional. Our second stop would cost us time. And what that means is we would lose one of these hourglass thingies at the top. That's not the case right here. Let's see if we can flip over a card that might have that. Let's see. I want to see 2. I want to see 2 times. Where are you? Oh my goodness, these country roads just aren't very fast. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this one right here. Okay, here we go. We're going to take this first stop for free. This would mean that we get to visit a restaurant. And that means when we visit a restaurant, we can get food and all that. We're going to go into that. But let's say we took that first stop. That one's free. If we were to keep going and not take this bypass off the road, but let's say we go to the mechanic right here, this stop would cost us 1 time. That means we could not use this hourglass. That means that once we finish driving this road, since there's no hourglass, we don't get to move forward on the road. Let's say that we went to the restaurant and we skipped this bypass and then we skipped the mechanic and we made it to the top. Yay, we get to move forward 1 space. Looking at these icons here, there are actually, the highways show more. Yes, there we go. There are actually up to 3. There's yellow, orange, and red. They're different speeds. Yellow's the slowest, red is the fastest. What that means is if I were to go straight up here, let's say I stopped for gas, that's 1 free stop, and I kept going, then I would get a clue at the end. I would get to move 3 spaces if I had a car that was fast enough. The Ford A is only a yellow, so I would still only get to go forward 1 space. But let's say that I had a faster car, like this one right here. Let's say I had the Ford 4-door Deluxe instead. See, that's a fast car. It's got the red. That would mean if I went straight to the end of the road, I could go boom, boom, boom. I could go forward 3. Pretty cool. Definitely some advantages to having a fast car. But if we had, just again to show that one more time, it doesn't happen often that there's more than one stop on these cards, because usually it's like a pull over. Here we go. Here's one of them. All right. Let's say that you decided to stop for gas. You buy some gas, awesome. And then you don't take this bypass. Instead, you go and you stop at the mechanic. Then whichever time is all the way to the right, You just make sure that that's covered up so you know you only get to apply this time. So you used up time to go there. I think we've run that into the ground. I think you understand it. Let me know in the comments if you don't understand any of this. No problem. All right. Anyway, so we did that. Flipped over our memory card. This would be a cabin camp. Well, it's morning. Morning, we don't get to stop overnight for a cabin, so we just have to keep going forward. We read this sign, we gain 1 time. Awesome. We flip our next road card. The next road card that you flip has to match the last one you flipped or the one that's shown in the top right at certain stops. So we have to flip over a country road. Here we go. We're at the country road. These bottom left weather icons, ignore them for now. They're for an advanced mode called Meteo. All right, we're on another country road, and we've got a fun option here. So here we go. We could decide to stop at this cabin, and that would end our day. All right, we would stop at the cabin, sleep, and it's done. Or we can pass the cabin, and there's no going backward. There's no going out of order. If you pass something, it's gone. Next, we could take a detour, which is great, or I call them all kinds of different things. But if you see this arrow, it means you're pulling off on an exit. In this case, to a town. So we're going to take that option. Boom. You don't have to pay time to go off the road. It wouldn't make any sense because you're going off the road anyway. You can't go back. Again, if you find out different, please let me know. Good, so we have our first stopover. In a stopover, you've got towns, villages, and cities, with obviously more options the bigger the place is. However, they also get more dangerous the bigger they are. So a town is the smallest one. And first, we would look at the bottom of the card and apply any icons at the bottom. In this case, it's just a memory card. So we would flip over the memory card and we would apply it. Don't worry, we're going to come back to what that is. Okay, we've done the memory card. It's over. Now, we have options. We can rob a bank. We can visit a mechanic to fix our car. Or we can go to a gun shop to buy ammunition and weapons. You can only visit these 1 time, but you can do it in any order that you like. You have an option. With the bank, you can only stick up. With these others, you have an option. You can either buy the supplies or you can perform a stick up. Let me show you both. Either way, if you do a stick up, you're going to flip over a stick up card. So let's say it's the bank. I'm going to flip over my stick up card. Boom. There are 4 icons. There's an easy stick up where the hostage puts their hands up. There's a difficult stick up where they fight back. There's a bank stick up, and then there's a car accident. So let's look at the bank. Since we're robbing a bank first, here we go. We look at the card and we apply all the icons. In this case, we have this gun in a target. And if we look at our iconography chart, let's see if it's on here. Is it on here? It's not on here. That's okay. It's in the rules. I'll explain it to you. This means that it is you lose 1 ammo because you're firing a gun. Boom. And also you have 1 casualty. That's what that means. So 1 ammo, 1 casualty. So we move our casualty up 1. This is going to be significant. Then we apply. So now that we've done that, we've made something happen over here in our casualty track. See all these little icons? These mean things. So we got to number 1, and it has a cop hat. That means we now have cops in pursuit. So our local police are now on the board. Where do they start? Well, it tells you on the card right here, they start on number 1. See how the symbol and the number match there. You might be like, what are these numbers on the top? You don't really have to pay attention. The yellow means this is for normal difficulty. Red means it's for hard difficulty. In this case, they're the same number, so it doesn't actually matter. But what this means is when they are activated when there is 1 casualty. Others, like this one, is activated when there are 9 casualties in normal mode. He is not activated at all in hard mode. This Frank Hamner is activated on turn 19, with 19 casualties in normal mode, 14 casualties in hard mode. Where these are 2 separate circles, they're actually one number. Don't let that confuse you too much. The other thing on the police card is you see this car, there's one symbol, which means when it comes to the cop's turn, they're going to move 1 space. If there were 2 of these, like with Frank Hammer, they're going to move 2 spaces on their turn. The rest of the icons do not matter for now. Those are going to be used for a shootout. Right now, we're just putting them on the board. So there you go, and you always start with the local police. All right, that was our first icon. There's another casualty. Oh my goodness. So we use 1 ammo and we have 1 casualty. And look, we have the love icon. It's black. That means we lose 1 love. That's not fun. We also lose 1 health. I pick one of the characters. I'll say that Clyde jumped in and he took the wound. We gain 2 money. That's good. So 1, 2. And you can never exceed what's on the track here. Then we gain 1 loot. So I'll take my yellow, and you'll see this Ford A has the capacity of 1 loot. Other cards have more capacity. How do you get a car? We're getting there. Don't worry. Good. We have applied everything on this card. We are going to place it in a discard pile. Boom. Boy, that was rough. Now, I could do a difficult stick-up at the mechanic. Now, there's not much purpose in doing that because the way the rules are, if you kill the mechanic, so if there's a casualty at the mechanic, then he can't fix your car anymore. So usually with the mechanic, you're probably going to just pay for it. So how do you pay for it? Well, let's say that I actually had damage on my vehicle. Let's say I was down at a 1. Then all I would do is I would say I'm stopping at the mechanic. I would spend $1 for each repair. Boom. That's it. Easy. Next thing, now if you were to rob and there is no casualty, then you would get to repair it for free. Okay. Same with doctors. If you stop at a doctor and there's a casualty, then they're dead. They can't help you. But if you do a stick up and they're not dead, then they heal you for free. It's your own risk. But notice, if I were to do a stick up at either of these, it has the difficult stick up icon, which means that if I were to stick up, say, the mechanic, I would flip over this card and I would have to apply the difficult stick up, not the easy stick up. So I would have to apply that, and we can see there's a casualty. So I would lose 1 ammo, I would gain a casualty, and I would gain $1. Hey, that's good. But I killed the mechanic, so I can't use it to repair my car. So, yeah, that happened. Now, the weapon shop. Let's say I don't want to do a stick-up. Let's say I want to buy. If you choose to buy, then you can buy any of the weapons that are on display. You can also buy ammunition. Ammunition is $1 per ammo. So let's say I spend $1 to take my ammo up. 1. Let's say I want to take it up again. 1. Let's say I want to take it up again. 1. And you'll notice there's an 8 and 9 with a special gun above it. That's because you have to have the Remington Model 11 shotgun in order to have enough ammo for the 8 and the 9. Otherwise, 7 is your cap if you don't have that one special gun. All right, so I did that. Let's say that I want to buy one of these guns on display. We'll go over the iconography at the end. I have to pay what it costs, which is shown at the top left. So let's say I pay 2, 1, 2, to buy the S&W number 3 Schofield. Put it under either character. Doesn't matter. Each character is allowed to hold 1 weapon per shootout or per robbery, whatever it is you're doing, stick up. And you can change them at any time. So you could have, 5 different weapons, and then before you do the stick up or shootout, just pick which 2 you're going to use. So I'll say that Clyde has this one. Fantastic. it has benefits that are going to help him later. For instance, this one has a one-time use ability where it gives me 1 health, or it takes the damage for me. Then I have this one here, which is if I flip over a stick-up card and I don't like it, one time in the game, I can flip over a new one instead. All right, so that's it. Let's say, so I bought weapons and I bought ammo. I'm done. So at the end of the turn, I refresh this. Let's say I didn't buy any weapons. If I didn't buy any weapons, but I just got ammunition, that at the end of the turn, discard the bottom one, slide these down, and flip over a new one at the top. So you've got a nice cycling inventory. With any pile, if you run out, just shuffle the discard and put it right back. No big deal. Can you stick up the weapons merchant to get a weapon? No, sir, you may not. You can stick up the weapon merchant. In this case, it would be a hard stick up. So I'd flip this over. I'd apply the hard stick up. Boy, 2 casualties and 2 ammo. So I'd go ammo, ammo, and add a casualty. Boom. Oh my goodness. Well, I would do it one at a time actually. So I would do 1 ammo, and I went up 1 casualty, which we see activates a new cop. So I would look, I'd flip this over, and we can see at 4 casualties, we're now with the sheriff and deputy. They start at 1, so we would just make sure wherever this was, if it was further up, we would put it back. It would land at 1. Oh my goodness, then I would apply it again for my second casualty. Take the ammo down, take the casualty up. Boom. All right, this is dangerous. And then I would gain the benefit. I would gain $1. I mean, that's good. We needed money. And that's it. Oh, yes, you do get whatever place you go to. If it's a easy stick up, then you get the resource there for free as well. So in this case, that would be ammunition. If it was an easy stick up, I would have gotten 1 ammunition for free. When it's a hard stick up, you get 2 of it for free. So if you stick up the ammunitions place, you get that. If it was a restaurant, I would gain 1 food for an easy stick up, 2 food for a hard stick up. And banks are different. There's no money place. Banks are their own icon. You only get what's listed on them. Okay. I think we covered that fairly well. Easy stick ups are always better, but you get less items. You discard that. All right, you do not have to go to each location. These are all optional. So that takes us to the end of our day, though. We've gone on our next road. We don't get to flip another card because that would take us to the next day. So we're at the end. We need a place to stay. Normally, you would look here for a place to stay. Let's see if we had flipped over something else. Yeah, so if we had flipped this one over, we would have had the cabin camp as an option. We didn't flip that over. So the only options we have is wild camping, which is not great, or we could stay at a workers' camp by spending 2 tracks. Let's see, we only have 1 track at this point, so we can't do any of these. We can't stay at a house. We could spend 2 tracks, so let's pretend we did. If we had 2 tracks, we would go 1, 2, and then we would follow the icons, gaining the benefits of where we stayed. If it was the house, we would gain 1 love, and then gain 1 more love, and also gain time. We would go ahead. That's great. But we only have 1 clue, so that didn't happen. So I have to do wild camping, which means I'm going to lose 1 health. And this is good for example, actually. So I'm going to, instead of taking 1 of their health down, I'm going to use my weapon's one-time ability of absorbing that health for me. Good. We're going to lose 1 love. That's not good. And then we are going to lose 1 time. That's not good. And we are also going to have to lose 1 food. So wild camping is just straight up bad. You never want that to happen. It's terrible. Alrighty. So we have finished our day. Now we go to the dawn. This is morning. So we're at dawn, which is before all of this happens. If you'd like, then you are welcome to discard any cards. Just make sure you pay attention to the last stop that you were able to take off on. All right, so we're going to discard. Boom. And discard and discard. Amazing. First thing we do at dawn is we activate the police. So they move forward however many car icons they have. They have one, so they move forward one. Thank goodness that part's done. Next, we get to buy a car if we want to. To buy a car, we have to pay the cost in clues. So this would be 3 clues, 3 clues, 4 clues, 5 clues in order to buy the car. Let's say that I had 5 clues. I would be like, all right, I'm going to spend 5 clues to get the car that I want. It's going to replace this car right here. We'll just pretend we did it. Boom. Keep the loot there. We're going to pretend that we did it. Ooh, and I made a mistake. I'm going to show you. Let's go right back. Let's go back. Okay. I forgot something very important. Whenever you have loot, the police move forward 1 space more for each loot you are carrying. In this case, that means they would have moved forward 1. And because I have that loot, they're going to move forward 1 more. They have caught up to me, which means we're going to have a shootout. A shootout is never good. Now's where we use these icons. If you have not placed any cubes up here, then you start at the top. So our first shootout is the top one. We can see in this shootout, we're going to lose 1 ammo. We're going to lose 1 health from somebody. I guess Bonnie got it this time. We're going to lose 1 gas. That's never fun. Boom. We are going to gain 1 time. So we are going to go ahead 1. And that means that that has been done. We won that shootout. We survived it. So the next time there's a shootout, we go down to here. That's no good, no fun. So we knocked that out, moved forward. Everything's good. Now that we won that shootout, they start at 2. Boom. Okay. All right. So the police phase is done. Thank goodness. Now, as I was saying, you can purchase a car if you like. So let's pretend I had 5 clues. I spent 5 clues. I get this new car. Remember to keep your loot. Boom. Put this back in the market. Got my 1 loot. You always start with a full tank of gas and a fully healthy body. After we purchase a car, which you don't, or I guess steal a car, you use the tracks to find it and you steal it. After you do that, then you can store your loot. That's the next thing. And you've got this all mostly, yeah, we got this right here. Store the loot and then spend a day. All right. So we're storing the loot. To store the loot, you have to spend 1 gas. Spend 1 gas, remove the loot, take your loot icon up to 1. What is the loot for? That's a win condition. So you can see the win conditions on the back rule book. We'll see the win condition for easy is love gauge needs to be full. I need to have 2 loot, and we need to spend 1 night at the romantic farm. So you need to have 2 loot and full love when you stay at the romantic farm. And then you've got the normal and hard conditions, which is usually just more loot or a harder way to start the game. I think this is a good time to talk about the automobiles. So let's say that you run out of gas. Well, how do you run out of gas? By going on roads. So remember, your first road was free. Every single road after that costs 1 gas. And you can see that on the card. So before you flip it, pay a gas. So let's say I was going to flip over. I had my first day. I was going to flip over this country road card. Woo! Scared me. I heard a noise. Okay, we're going to go gas 1, go down the country road. Boom. Let's say we do all our stuff, but what happens if we are out of gas? If we are out of gas, we cannot flip another road card. That means that we're going to have to just end our day and stay the night somewhere, some way. Either by using a location on here, or wild camping, or spending clues for these bottom 4 options. You'll see these 3 here, cabin, camp, motel, and hotel, are icons on here, and you spend money to stay there. The workers' camp, house, abandoned house, romantic farm aren't going to be on any cards. That's why you have to spend the tracks, which I keep calling clues, the tracks to get there, because they used to be called clues. All right. Wild camping, you can always do. It's always awful. You will lose the game if you do that like several times. Maybe even if you do it once, it's bad. It's real bad. All right. So yeah, you run out of gas, you're just in trouble. Hopefully find a gas station. What about the body? Well, you take damage if your body gets to the end here, and then you have to add damage after this. Then you have to flip over an accident card. You're going to flip this over, go to the accident icon, and apply all of the stuff. -2 gas, well, we can't do it, so you're done. Damage to the body, well, we're already like gone, so the car's gone, and we lose 1 time. So apply whatever you can from that. So this car is destroyed, which means is gone. All right, it is destroyed. So now we have no car. What are we going to do? Well, we have to stay somewhere overnight and wait until the next day. The police, just like this turn order shows, the police are going to move. They're 1 space. I stored my loot, so we didn't lose our loot. Then we get to steal a new vehicle. Well, let's say that we have no clues to use. We're at 0 clues. If we had 1 clue to spend, we could get the Ford A. If we had 3, we could get that one. Well, let's pretend that we don't have any clues. You can always do a stick up to get the Ford A, and that's the only one. That's why it has these icons. So to get the Ford A, we have to have a casualty, lose 1 ammo, and a casualty. Oh, we're up there. We're up to 6. There's a heart icon, so we're going to lose 1. Boom. This is bad, but we have a Ford A, and we start with our full tank of gas and our car. If you had loot when your car was destroyed, I actually don't know. I assume that you lose the loot. I don't have a concrete answer on that. I would say pick the method that's most thematic to you and just be consistent. If it's in the rule book or the errata, please let me know, because it's easy for me to miss. Okay. Yeah, that's vehicles. And I went over the speeds of the vehicles. So we are, oh yeah, there are the good thing with upgrading vehicles, the only other thing we haven't covered is special icons. So what that means, at the start of every day, you get to apply the bonus. So if I had the Chevy Series A Independence, at the beginning of the day, I would get to take my love up 1 every time. That's awesome. If I had something like this here, then I would get 1 love at the beginning of each day, and I would get this special symbol, which is on our iconography, and it means turbo. If you reach the end of a road without making a stop, gain 1 love and 1 time. So that's awesome. So if I were to go straight through this road and not stop anywhere, then I would get 1 time and 1 love. That's a good deal. I'm okay with that. The other icon you might see, if you had the Ford B18 Roadster, you'd gain 1 love. Boom. And you got this eyeball, which says it's discreet. The police do not advance quicker when you have loot in the car. That's great. So I could have 2 loot, and the police would still only move there as many spaces as they have on their symbol. So in this case, if it was the police turn, they'd only move forward 1. Normally, they would move another 2 for each loot, but because it's discreet, they don't. So that's a great ability to have. Good deal. So how do you get to a city road? Well, sometimes on certain stopovers, you will see this icon here. So let's say it's the morning. Let's pretend, do I have one? Oh, well, hey, there's a city. Let's do that. So let's say I was here. I spent my 1 gas, boom, to flip over this country road card in the morning. First, we flip over a memory card. Boom, don't worry, that's the last thing we're going to cover. We apply it. Boom, happy. Then I'm like, hey, I want to go off to a city. I'm going to go off to a city. Boom. This is good because I wanted to explain this. First, we apply the icons at the bottom, as shown before. It's the same whether it's a village, town, or city. I would lose one time. Boom. Hey, I just went backwards. I'm in the same spot as the police. I immediately play out a shootout. So it doesn't matter when it happens, you have to play it out. So I would do that. In this case, we have a casualty, so I lose an ammo, gain a casualty. Don't worry about this red icon. That is only for an advanced mode. What else did I lose? Another casualty and ammo. Boom and boom. I would gain one time, thank goodness. I would gain one tracks, good. I would gain one love. Where are you at? There we are. Boom. And these police are dead. So what that means, they're right there, is they reset all the way back to the beginning. In this case, it's a new set of police, and they start all the way back at 1. Boom. And then we would continue. We would gain tracks, yay! And then we would flip over a memory card. Boom! Again, that's the last thing we're going to cover. There we go. You'll notice that the city is different than the village and the town, in that the village and the town don't have an icon in the top left. We see it has the hard stick-up icon. What that means is every location at a city is a hard stick-up, should you choose to do a stick-up. Oh, we've got a gas station. That's great. I would stop there and get gas. But anyway, everything in a city is a hard stick-up because of that icon. Sometimes in the top right of these locations, where are you? Got a lot of country roads coming. There we go. Some of these will have a highway. So let's say I had flipped this one over. This is going to let me go on a highway next. That's how you get to your highways. Then, if you were to take this country road, you'd go back to a country road. Or if you keep going straight, you're going to keep going on city roads. There's more chances of hitting cities on these big roads, but also you can move faster if you have a faster car and you just make it to the end. So if you just need to get ahead of the police, go for it. You can never go above the 9. You can never go below the 1. Same for the police. So let's say I'm at the 9 and I'm just going to drive straight through. I would apply any icons on the bottom. There aren't any. I'd go to the top. I'd get a clue. I'm passing both of these. I've got an orange car, so that means I get 2 time. But look, I can't move forward anymore. Well, you would just move the police back. You can't move them back any further, but let's say they were here. So instead of moving forward 2, I would go boom, boom. And that way you're still going ahead. If you can't move them back any further, you simply can't apply it. And why are you making these life choices? All right, so final thing, memory cards. They are super easy to read. Whenever you have to flip over a memory, something bad happens. But don't worry, there are things you can do. In this case, I flipped over this memory card, and oh no, we got in a fight. So I lose 1 ammo, and I gain a casualty. Oh my goodness, we moved up to 9. There's a cop hat. You know what that means. We immediately upgrade to the next cop. Oh, it's the detective. Sharp-dressed fella. Scary, too. He starts at number 1, so great. He's already there. Fantastic. That's all that matters. We now have a new guy after us. All right, so we applied that. However, let's say I did not want that to happen. I can reverse it. If I spend 2 clues, I reverse what happens. So that would mean instead of spending an ammo, I would gain an ammo. As far as casualties go, I'm not aware in the rules of any casualty being reversed. So I'm only aware of this being gaining ammo. Let me know if I'm wrong. Casualties, you can't bring people back from the dead. So each icon you will carry out. Or you have this one where you will have 3 options. And this is not reversible. You can lose 1 fuel, lose 1 food, or lose 1 money. Your choice. When you're done with the memory, you flip it over. If you flipped over a memory like this, lose 2 time, you would go back 2. If you didn't want to do that, you could spend 2 clues, and instead you would gain 2 time. How do you lose? If you get into a shootout and you have no ammo, you're dead. It's game over. If the love meter ever reaches 0, the bottom here, game over. Sure, there are other ways to lose, but I'm pretty sure those are the big ones. Oh yeah, if Bonnie and Clyde both ever get down to the dead right there, boom, boom, either one of them, doesn't matter, is game over. You know how to play. Let's take one final look at the iconography. Oh wait, real quick, before we get to iconography, I forgot about the character's special powers that are used once per game. Clyde can draw a new highway or country road card once in the game. So that means if I flip over this for the morning, let's say these are gone. Let's say that I flip this over and it's not what I want. One time in the game, I can get a new card of whatever was already there. So if it was a country card, I can draw a new country one, and only that one applies. Same thing if it was a highway. Bonnie's. Bonnie's is a one-time ability. Once per game, if you do not like the village or town card that you drew, so say you went off into a village and you don't like what it is, you can use this one time to draw a new village card. The most recent one is what applies. You can only do that with villages and towns. You see there's not a city. You cannot do that with cities. Okay, let's cover the iconography very quickly, and then we will do one sample round to summarize, and then we will get the giveaway going if this game is interesting to you. So, just looking around the board, just reviewing it, this money bag icon, that's loot. You've got an iconography chart here. It has quite a few of the icons to help you, but not every single one of them. So some questions may come with the weapons, which I believe not in the current rulebook. In the second one printed, it should be in there. Right now it's in the rules errata, which I've got in the description for this video, a description of each weapon's ability. But for example, this one, anytime you see the number 1, that means one-time use. You see it on the characters, you see it on the weapon. That means one time per game. You can use this to prevent 1 wound. One time per game, you can draw, whenever you see these circles, it means draw a new card to replace. So boom, if you don't like the memory card you drew, you can draw a new one. That's what those icons mean. Same exact thing right here, prevent 1 wound, draw a new memory card. You've got when an icon has a black background, that means it's a cost. So when the heart has a black background, like here, then that means that you are taking away. So you'll just see that over and over again. When you see the hand, you'll notice that's the same as your stick-up deck right here. So it just means draw one of those, and again, the 2 circles means draw a new one. Don't worry, this red cowboy guy, we're going to get to him in the advanced mode. When you see this circle for the Remington Model 2 shotgun, you see it has the number 8 and 9 for ammo. What that means is when you have this card, you get a one-time ability. Once in the game, you can draw a new stick-up card if you don't like the one you had. Also, you permanently get to use the 8 and 9 ammo slot of your ammo. That's the only weapon that does that. Are there any other unique icons? Yes. When you see this cop with a skull, that means once per game you can use this to win a shootout with that 1 cube. That means you don't have to lose any of the stuff that you lose here. You still get the benefit from what I understand. Oh, no. No, you don't. You just get rid of the cop. That cop is just done. That's it. So you just ignore everything. That cop is just done. All right, so that's a one-time use. Boom. Then you've got the difficult stick-up. And in this case, it means a difficult stick-up. If you have this weapon and you're playing with it like that, then all difficult stick-ups are actually played as easy stick-ups. So if you flip this over, instead of playing the difficult stick-up, you would play the easy stick-up in every case. And of course, these are always optional. You don't have to play with this, but there is a cost to it. So to apply that, you have to do it for the cost of 1 ammo. So whenever you see the minus underneath, then you know that it's a cost. Also, it has the black background that time, so that's a helpful way to see as well. Nothing new here. We've covered this icon. You know this means remove or reduce ammo by 1 and increase casualty by 1. And you've got the black money in the background, which indicates cost. Grenade is an interesting one. So you are going to lose 3 ammo. There are going to be 3 casualties. You get to gain ammo, though, because you didn't have to spend any to use this, and you're going to lose love. So that's kind of a brutal one. Kind of brutal. All right, we covered those. I think we're good on all of those icons. We don't have anything more to show on the memory cards. We covered any icons that you're going to see there. Whenever you see this gravestone, of course, that means a casualty. With your love, this icon at the end, actually, even though there's a skull, that actually means success, whereas this is like the gravestone, because they die, even though they are at full love, they die in the end no matter what. So don't let that confuse you. Then we've got any other symbols here are only for advanced mode. The only symbols you need to pay attention to in the normal mode are the cop and the love. You can ignore the cowboy hats for now. And this is just the progression of police officers from the easiest to the hardest there. All right. Then you've got down here, you've got your tracks that you collect. You know about that. In your money, if you ever get more than 10 money, totally fine. Take your money to 10 and then add another marker, and that's going to be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you get here again, you can do that again for 20, but my goodness, just start spending money, right? Just start spending money. The others do not do that. They don't loop around. So food caps at 7, 7, 7, boom. We don't need to spend so much time. Whenever you see the gas -1, pay a gas. Don't worry about the weather icons. That's for advanced. You've got your different locations. So you've got restaurants, you've got gas stations, and you've got don't confuse these with the fuels, the mechanics. The mechanics have like a wrench or something. There we go. So that's a mechanic instead. So you've got mechanics, and then of course you've got the other icons for the places that you stay. Again, wild camping you can do anytime. You can do the cabin, camp, motel, and hotel only if the icons are on these cards. That's the only way. You've got a doctor icon there as well. And if you want to use a doctor, then you just pay $1 to heal 1 wound. So if you're down here, pay $1, boom, and heal 1 wound. Fantastic. You can do that as many times as you want as long as you have money. All right. Then, of course, your places to stay with the search, what are we calling these? Tracks. With the tracks. So you can pay to stay at these places by spending the tracks that you have earned. You can spend tracks to buy your cars. We've already gone over all the icons on the automobile and on the cop cards. We're not going over anything else. There's no other iconography really that we need to cover. So let's go to a sample round really quick. Let's say you took your first turn. It's now the beginning of your second turn. What's the first thing that you do? First, you are going to move the police. This is Dawn. So move the police. The police are moving 1 space. All right. If they catch up to you in this phase, then you have to do a shootout. We already covered that. Next, if you would like, you can steal a new vehicle by spending clues. Or if you have no vehicle, you can perform a stick-up for the Ford A. We already covered that. If you have loot in your vehicle, now you can store the loot. These must be done in this order, just like are shown on this card. To store the loot, again, you spend 1 gas. Boom. You remove, and that's 1 gas for all the loot. Move your loot up by however many bags you deposited. All right. And then it says spend 1 day optional. I don't know what that means, so I ignore that. All right. After dawn, we go to morning. You get to draw 1 road card for the morning. So it has to be a road card that matches the last road that you played. So if the last thing that we played was this town here, we see it's going off into a country road. All right. So let's play a country road. Pay the gas. Always remember to pay your gas. I tend to forget that. You flip over 1 road. Then You can make your stops. You can stop and get some food if you would like. Then you have a choice. You can turn off to a village or you can go straight. Either one. Remember, you don't get to draw another road card in the morning. So let's say you didn't want to go into a town, you went straight. Then we would gain love, we would gain time, boom, and then we would draw the next road card for the afternoon. It's going to be the same as what we just played, or whatever shows. Let's say we went off into the village. This shows a country road, so that's where we would go in either case. So we'll draw the afternoon. Remember to spend that gas. It's hard to keep up with gas. And we play our afternoon road. It's only one road for each of these times of day. All right, so we can stop and stay at the cabin, or we can take our one stopover, because you can only take one stopover in each of these phases. We can do our one stopover into, my goodness, another village, or we can go straight, go to a gas station, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to go to the gas station, and we're not going to do a stick up. We're going to spend money to get gas. We're going to spend more money to get more gas. There, we're full. Fantastic. We're going to go to the end of the road. We're going to draw a memory card, and this means, oh no, we had a car accident, so we will have to flip over our card, and we are going to resolve the car accident. In this case, we would lose one food, we would lose one gas, of course, why not? And we would also lose one time. That's bad. If we ever get in the same space as the police, remember, you have a shootout. All right, so we finished all that. We got to the end of the road. So now we go to the night phase. If we had not gone to the end and we went to the village, we'll bring it back, then we would resolve whatever we needed in the village, and at the end, we wouldn't draw that road card because we're at the end, right? So we would go to the night phase. And then the next day, we would have to start on whatever road is shown here. When you get to the night phase, you can choose a hideout. So we had all our cards. You can leave them there. You can discard them. And you choose how you're going to sleep. So in this case, we have the option of a cabin right here. So we can pay $1 to stay at the cabin. Or we can do wild camping, which is awful. Or we can spend our clues to stay at a nicer place. Whatever you prefer. Let's say we pick the cabin. I pay $1 and I pay one food and we stay at the cabin and yay. All right. And that is the end. And that is how the game continues until you meet the win conditions, or more likely than not, you die young and early. But don't worry, you can win this. All right, so that takes us to the giveaway before we get to the advanced mode. All you have to do is email me at boardgamesfor1@gmail.com. Boardgamesfor1@gmail.com. Put giveaway somewhere in the subject line so that it pops out for me. Make sure I get it. And in the description, just tell me how your week was and tell me who wore it better, Clyde Barrow or myself. Remember, honesty is not always the best policy. Remember that. All right, life lessons. Terrible life lessons. Completely wrong. No, just tell me how your week was. Okay, that's it. So let's go into the advanced mode. All right, the Wanted Dead or Alive advanced mode. This is for longer games, all right, so that you actually get some benefits the longer the game goes as it gets harder, so it kind of helps you survive. It would go to the side over here, but for the sake of this, just so you can see it in the center, I'm going to put it right here. And how do you use this? Well, this is where the red cowboy hats on this casualty track come into play. Whenever your marker hits the cowboy hat, that's the Wanted Dead or Alive marker. You start here. When you hit that, you go forward 1. And we can see at 1, nothing happens. But if we were to keep going, again, it's going to be a longer game. We hit the cowboy hat again, we go up to 2. Let's say we get to 20 casualties. Oh, my gravy. At 20 casualties, we would go up to here. And here we would simply resolve the casualties. And here we would simply resolve the icons. So this means whenever there is this event, it looks like it's a stick up, then we resolve this over here. I'm going to wait until the revised rulebook comes out before I want to say anything about the meaning of the icons. If you can read through it yourself, I think that's totally fine. And if we get more clarification, I will be glad to go through that. But that is the wanted, and you just go up and up and up. Over here with casualties, so if you get to 20, then 21 would look like, you would stop here because you can't go from 20 to 30, so it would go 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then once you got to 30, you would just move this over and restart again. 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on. So once you got to 30 casualties, this would go up again, and whenever this event happens, then you resolve something over there, okay? That is the wanted, dead, or alive. Again, that's an optional advanced mode. The other is called Meteo. And where did I put you, Meteo? I had you laying around here before I tossed you around. There you go. Meteo introduces weather. If you want a little bit of Robinson Crusoe cruelty in your game, normally I'd put it over here, but we'll put it in the center for, well, we'll put it right here. Meteo works with your icons on roads and villages. So during your trips, what it is at the end of your day, you look at the icons for certain combinations. So at the end of the day, we can see I have 2 rain icons. These are 2 consecutively played rain icons. I played this road, I played this road. 2 rains means that any action that requires a clue is going to cost 1 more clue. So that's what you have there. So any of these right here that you're staying at, these orange right here, they're going to cost 1 extra clue. So that's not good. So rain makes it harder. Let's say that I played, I want another one with rain. Where's another one with rain? Come on, give me rain. Give me rain. Let's see, 3 consecutive. Where's rain? There's rain. Okay. Let's pretend that this was a village or a town. Let's pretend this was a town. So I played a rain. Then I went off onto a town. Oh, I have another rain. And then I went off onto a highway. We'll pretend this is a highway. And that has rain. Oh no, I have 3 consecutive rains in that day. So that means to stay anywhere, to spending clues is going to cost 1 more clue. Plus, I don't get to move forward on the time track, and I lose 2 health total. So 3 rain are bad. We really don't want that to happen. And so on with all of them. So it would be the same if you drew 2 consecutive cards that had the partly cloudy, nothing happens. If you drew 3 consecutive cards, then you would, at the end of the day, you'd have suffered an accident, lose some ammo, and that X over the sun is morning, so you would skip morning. Then if you got 2 suns, then you would lose food. If you had 3 suns in a row, you would lose food, lose 2 health, and you would and all difficult stick-ups would count as safe stick-ups. So, there's some benefit to that. You have some losses, but also some benefits. Now, if you end up with weather, let's say I got a sun, or I got rain, and, well, I don't want rain again. Oh my goodness, give me a different combination. Oh my goodness, now I'm finding all the rain. Really? Let's say you got rain and partly cloudy. Well, there's no combination for that on this card, so nothing happens. However, if a previous weather effect was in effect from the previous day, then that stays. All right? If there was no previous weather effect, then it doesn't. Nothing happens. And that is how you add some challenge with Meteo. That was a lot. I know this is not the best of my instructional videos, but I just want to get it out there so you can get playing it. It's really a great game, and I just want to make it a little easier for you. If you have questions for clarification, please let me know. I'll do my best to respond, and I can also reach out to the designer for a response if needed. I love you all. Next video is coming. It should be either the game of the year for 2022. I know it's a little late. Or it's going to be the board game buyer's guide for 2023. They're both in development, so one of them's coming next. I love you all. I'll see you next time.